African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing on the progress of the special military operation as of July 19, 2025. Last night, the armed forces of the Russian Federation delivered a group strike with high-precision weapons of air, ground, and sea-based platforms, as well as strike unmanned aerial vehicles on enterprises of the Ukrainian military-industrial complex producing components for missiles and strike UAVs. All designated targets were hit. Units of the North Troop Group improved their tactical position, inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of mechanized, airborne assault brigades, and an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements Varakino, Rizevka, Yablanovka, Unikovka, Alexievka, and Kondratovka in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, units of two territorial defense brigades were struck in the areas of the settlements Haidish and Volchansk in the Kharkiv region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost up to 155 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 3 cars, 4 artillery guns, and an ammunition depot. Units of the West Troop Group improved their position along the front line, inflicted damage on formations of 2 mechanized, assault, airmobile brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements Kupiansk, Simkovka, Novy Mir in the Kharkiv region, Korvyar, Karpovka, and Torsky in the Donetsk People's Republic. Enemy losses amounted to more than 230 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles including a US-made HMMWV, 18 cars, and 2 field artillery guns. Destroyed were US-made and /TPQ-50 counter-battery radar station, 2 electronic warfare stations, and 7 ammunition depots. Units of the South Troop Group took more advantageous lines and positions, inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of 2 mechanized, airmobile brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements Seversky, Serebryanka, Chesavyar, Konstantinovka, Klebenbyk, Sherbanovka, and Belyagora in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost up to 125 servicemen, 2 artillery guns, a fuel depot and a material supplies depot were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces improved their tactical position. They inflicted losses on formations of 5 mechanized, assault, ranger, airborne brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine brigade, 2 territorial defense brigades and 2 National Guard brigades in the areas of the settlements of Krasnoarmysk, Novokrenka, Moravka, Zvarivo, Petrovskoy, and Udaknoy of the Donetsk People's Republic. The losses of the Ukrainian armed formations amounted to more than 450 servicemen, 3 combat armored vehicles, 12 cars, as well as 3 artillery pieces, including the 155mm self-propelled artillery unit Braveheart made in Great Britain. Units of the East Group of Forces continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense. They defeated the manpower and equipment of the mechanized, mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the Marine Brigade and the Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Novogeorgievka, Ivanovka in the Dnipropetrovsk region and Zelenihai in the Donetsk People's Republic. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost up to 190 servicemen, 4 combat armored vehicles, 11 cars, a field artillery gun and a US-made and /TPQ-36 counter-battery station. Units of the Dnipro Group of Forces defeated the formations of the mechanized, mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements of Molotokh-Machka, Novoandrivka in the Zaporizhia region, Antonovka and Poniatovka in the Kherson region. More than 45 servicemen, 5 vehicles, 3 artillery pieces, including a 155mm M777 howitzer made in the USA, 3 electronic warfare stations and 3 ammunition depots were destroyed. Operational Tactical Aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian armed forces groups damaged a territorial recruitment center, military airfield infrastructure, an aircraft repair enterprise, places for preparing to launch strike unmanned aerial vehicles of an aircraft type, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian formations in 132 districts. Air defense systems shot down 6 guided aerial bombs and 349 unmanned aerial vehicles of an aircraft type. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 664 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 70,702 unmanned aerial vehicles, 619 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,259 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,577 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 27,576 field artillery pieces and mortars, 38,402 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.